Alrighty, everybody. Well, welcome to a new series that we are going to be doing where we are interviewing local dirt track racers or national series racers, really anybody that you can think of who's a racer in multiple different facets of racing. And I think for right now, we're going to call it Checkered Roots until we decide to change that. That's what we're going to go with. Up first, in our very first episode, we have Mr. Larry Knight. So, Larry, sir, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good.
Good, man. Well, hey, I certainly appreciate you coming on. Again, you're the first one, so we'll iron out some kinks with this whole thing here, but I think it'll be fun. But why don't you go ahead and start with telling me and everybody around us here where you're from and what do you like to race and what do you like to do?
We're based out of Williamsport, Pennsylvania. We race the pro stock division at our local track of Clinton County Speedway. Um, try to race every week. Sometimes we're better and worse. Sometimes we break some stuff. Just kind of recovering from a pretty nasty break here 2 weeks ago. Broke the rear end, so got it all fixed up. Raced this past Friday. Took sixth in the feature, so it wasn't too
Awesome,
bad
man.
for it.
Yeah, right? Awesome. Awesome, awesome. How long have you been racing? How long have you been driving for?
So this is actually my second full season.
Okay. So you're still pretty new to it yourself then, right?
Pretty new to it. First year, if you want to call, we bought one car to start. It was a CW Smith leaf spring car. We did six races on that. Found out the leaf spring just isn't for everybody. Wasn't for me. Wasn't my driving style.
Sure.
Uh, so I had some issues with that chassis. So we sold that. Bought a Tony Jackson Jr. Um, coil car. Uh, Started with that last year. We took finally, I believe it was third in points last year on a
Nice.
brand new car. Um, so after rookie of the year in 23, third in points again last year. Now we Mother Nature's been absolutely beating on us this race season. I think we've only got uh, 2.5 races
Oh wow.
since April.
Oh wow, yeah, and we're getting damn near into the 4th of July. Damn.
Yeah, yeah. So I raced one race in April. I raced half a race there May 2nd we got a makeup feature that's going to happen in July 18th for that one. Um, and then we just raced this past Friday.
Wow. Man,
Yeah, we
well
had
hopefully that gets better for you and you guys can finish the year
yeah.
strong, man.
So we had 8 inches of rain over the last month.
Holy shit. It got
So
pretty bad here in Kansas City too, where there was like a 2 week span. It hasn't been since April where it's been that bad. There was like a 2 week span where I think we got every bit of 6 or 8 inches. So, huh?
oh yeah, it's just every time I turn around, it's just like no, we can't race.
Right.
Pits are flooded,
Yep.
tracks flooded.
Here's
I'm like,
another inch of rain for you. That'll be fun. Well, cool, dude. So did you grow up around racing, or did you like is that from your childhood? Like, what kind of steered you towards wanting to go racing?
so actually, I was nowhere near growing up around racing. Um, my dad actually started with demolition derby. Um, Watching that as a child. I then got into it 2015. I did 8 years of demolition derby. Ended up breaking my back in a horse accident. Um, Finally, just turned around and was like, my body can't do this anymore.
Sure.
So, my wife and I got married last year. And her family's very big into dirt racing. So I'm like, kind of done with derbying. Got to find another hobby. I was like, why not? Let's try it. Um, like I said, that original car was a complete deterrent.
Right.
But we found a different chassis and went a different route with our team, and it's kind of history to make it right now. Is we're just gonna keep plucking forward and pretty much see what the plans are.
Oh, that's awesome, dude. No, that's awesome. That's awesome. Um, what's some of your proudest moments in racing or really life in general? We can go outside of that if you'd like to, if anything you'd like to share.
Got a lot of proud moments. I mean, it just, uh, I don't. Not a lot of people can say they turn around and uh, got rookie of the year their first year. I mean, it's when you're racing a bunch of good competition, great guys that really put up a fight. Um, that's a major accomplishment for a lot of race teams. Usually, um, second year with a brand new car. That was just taking third in points. I mean, I've raced against guys that are 20, 30-year veterans, and they're coming up to me at the end of the night, and like, you keep going the way you're going, and we're gonna expect some seriously big things from you at a pretty high level, high caliber driving style. Uh, it just life in general, man. That's an accomplishment every day you wake up and get to do what I want to do, get to go to work, get to race on the weekends, be with my family, friends.
Absolutely, man. That's what it's all about. I think that's what I've come to find. Again, I'm new into being actually involved in motorsports, but I think the coolest thing that I've learned is like the camaraderie of it. I mean, you're gonna have a bad egg. You have that in any facet of life. You're gonna have a bad egg or someone who doesn't want to contribute or anything like that. But the family-oriented style of it, the camaraderie of it, the helping out the next guy, like the past couple weeks where I've actually been able to be in the pits and helping out teams, like guys helping each other, like, hey man, do you have this part like this just shelled on my car? Do you have this? And everybody's like, yeah, dude, I got you. Like, pay me whenever, or they don't even worry about
Yep.
it. Or, and it's been so cool. And then for the racing community as a whole, how much they've opened their arms to me, just a guy who doesn't have any experience with that. I think it's fantastic the way the whole racing community in general just is so accepting for the most part. Like I said, you'll have bad eggs here and there, but cool, man.
And that was like coming from Derby, and like it was decent. You get some of those guys that give the shirt off your back. Get other guys that turn around and walk away because they're not going to help you. Your
Right.
competition. Now with the racing world, um, it just has completely blown me away. Um, Last year, our last race, I believe it was the end of August. I was tied for third in points. I blew a left front tire out with, I think it was 6 laps to go, I think. And so I come out on the pit, come up into the hot zone, and I didn't have a lot of my crew members there that night. They got busy. So there was 15 guys that come out of nowhere, grab the jack, grab the gun, grab tire, jack that car up, and with under 2 minutes, I was back on the track.
Wow.
And I don't even know half the guys that even did it.
Man, that's awesome, dude. They
Yeah.
knew what was at stake for you and they decided to
Yep.
do. That's cool. Man, that's super
Yep.
cool. You love to hear stuff like that. Um,
Yeah, that was great, man. I couldn't thank those guys enough because if I did get on the track and gain the 2 spots that I needed to beat the guy for third, I would never take it.
man, that's cool. Man, that's really cool. No, that's really cool. Um, well, I feel like you kind of answered in that, but maybe you got more that you want to say about it. But what is it that you love the most about racing? Like what keeps you coming back each and every week? Or I guess the two and a half times you've been able to come back this year.
So I pretty much, I'm gonna touch base. It's the checker flag.
Sure.
So I've won 2 heat races since I've done it. Now we're still learning, um, but it's the constant chase. It's the strive to get better, the strive to you know get your team out there. You basically you want to do everything you can in your power in the car to drive that car to get your team to victory lane, or it's the strive to get better. Um, just to win. It's a chase of a dream, man. It's a dream that I never really thought that I'd go after. Yeah, figure I'd always break cars instead of, trying to keep them in one piece. It just
Yeah, fair enough.
kind of
Yeah,
kind of one
fair
of those
enough.
things that you just never really anticipated to do. And I wouldn't regret my decision. I would do it over 100 times and do the same thing over and over again. I'd make a switch to a heartbeat.
That's awesome, man. No, that's really cool to hear. I mean, I feel like there's a lot of people that feel the exact same way. Like nothing else they'd rather do. I'd do this in a heartbeat if I was given the chance. So that's super cool. What are your plans for the future when it comes to racing or really anything in life? You got any big plans coming up in the future, or what are you working towards when it comes to
So basically, my father-in-law runs the 305 sprints. Um, so I pretty much not sure how I feel about the open wheel yet. Never really been in a sprint car. Um, but yeah, the wife and I were actually just talking about this the other day. Um, so pro stock rules in Clinton County are there used to be 5 tracks that ran the same roll style. It's kind of slimmed down now, so it's kind of slim pickings for us to be able to take our car to certain places. Um, so our plans are actually probably to buy a late model within the next 3 to 5 years.
super nice, nice. Well,
So
best dude. Good luck in that. That'd be awesome. That'd be awesome. Um, one of my favorite questions I think I'm gonna end up asking people is what's some of the craziest things you've seen at a racetrack? Do you have any kind of wild stories or just like a dude you would not believe this shit type of stories?
and it just, I mean, besides last year, I tried hard with a competitor, and um, even my first year. We'll start with the first year one. I come out of turn four, um, racing door to door with this guy, great guy. Um, so something on his in the motor broke. I ended up talking to him here. I don't know, last year's shortly after it happened. Um, so something broke. I'm guessing Rocker Army said he told me. So he was getting ready to cut the infield. Didn't realize I was underneath of him, and he turns down the track, tags me square up in the passenger door, lifts the car up. So I'm like, I mean, we're in a little 3/8 mile bull ring. I mean, so we're getting it.
Right.
So like I said, he comes down the track, never sees me door to door with him, tags the passenger door, lifts the car up on one tire. So I'm up on the left front wheel at this point, and I'm talking. I mean, the rear of the car is probably 4 feet in the air, 3.5, 4 feet in the
Oh
air.
shit.
I let go of the wheel at that point. Like I'm going for a ride.
And
Like
Jesus take the wheel, huh?
that's it. Like I'm going on my lid. Like there's for sure no way this car is gonna sit back down. You ain't got no air flaps like NASCAR to set the car back
Right.
down. Like you're going over. Like
Yeah,
there's
here
just
we
no doubt
go.
about it. So, and I mean, this is at the flag stand, front stretch, right in front of the bleachers. Somehow, and I don't know who to thank. Um, the car sat back down, didn't roll. Couldn't believe it. Didn't roll. Reached over, refired the car. Toes bent. I mean, tires are just blown
Oh
one
yeah,
side,
she's oh
each
yeah, it's
way. Just
choked.
toes whacked. So I'm like, all right, should we try to go for it? Do we pull in the pits? And I mean, we're like probably like 7 or 8. And so I thought to myself, and I refire it, pull around. I was like, you know what? The hell with it. We're going for it.
Screw it,
Like
let's
the
get
40
her
lap
done.
feature, we're going for it.
Right?
That was the worst 17 laps that I did after that, trying to fight the car to turn. I pulled off and I'm like, no, the hell with this. I'm done. I
Yeah,
ended up doing like 28 laps of that, 40 lap feature. And I get back to the trailer and I'm like, I don't even know how the hell this car even drove.
go
Like, I
from
mean, the toe was so far out. I mean, it was probably, it been both tie rod ends, from the impacts of everything. Um, I'd probably say the toe was out 4 or 5 inches.
oh shit.
And I was
That would
and
be a
that was my
miserable
CW sprint
17
car. So
laps.
Oh, it was horrible, and it was everything I could do to just hold the left front wheel off the ground,
Right.
just to make it just a little easier. And then I just kind of got tired. I'm like, yeah, I can't fight this
I
anymore. It's
can't do
just
this. That
this is
sucks.
just this is bad. I didn't realize how bad it was until I got back to the pits.
Right. Oh, that's
Um,
fantastic. Oh, that is
and then
fantastic.
last year, the guy that I was actually racing for third in points with, um, Richie Fry, he got door to door with somebody. I'm not sure exactly what happened. But again, we're right down the front stretch, and he ends up rolling it down the front stretch. And pro stocks normally don't roll
Right.
too often. It can happen. I don't know if somebody tagged him. It just kind of bit one way or another. Um, so he ended up rolling down the front stretch right in front of me, and that kind of puckered up a little bit. That was
Oh yeah,
like,
dude.
where's this car gonna turn its next roll on? Like, is it gonna come down the track? Is it gonna stay back up on the track? So I mean, he's rolling down the catch fence. All of a sudden it does come down the track, and I cut for the infield because I was like, man, I'm gonna get him.
Right.
And I ended up missing him. He
Oof.
was good. He was all right. And but yeah, that was definitely that was scary. That was a scary thought
Oh,
because I'm like,
absolutely.
man, it's
That's one
the guy you
thing.
race with.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, I mean,
absolutely.
they become family and really good friends, and you hate kind of see stuff like that because that tears a program apart.
Right. And I think that's the biggest thing, from the moment I decided, all right, I'm going racing. Got to make this happen. This is what I'm going to do. I'd never once, I mean, you can get cheap when it comes to, you know what, I'll run a cheaper motor, or I'll run the most basic, X, Y, and Z. But when it comes to safety, man, it just ain't worth it. Spend the money on the safety stuff because you're only going to roll it once where you're like, man, I wish I would have had that. Or you might not be able to say, man, I wish I would have had that. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
and that's what I explained to everybody. Everybody's like, well, because I see a lot of guys that don't run Hans device.
Yeah, no way.
I've hit a wall. I
Right,
know what that feels like. Where your neck snaps forward, and I've also hit a wall with a Hans device on.
right.
The safety aspect, and I try to tell everybody the same thing. Like, hey, dude, like, get something.
Yeah,
Whether it's a neck roll from the whiplash, from you never know what's going to happen. Something could break. I
right.
mean, we all take that chance when we get in that car. We know what we're doing.
Right. Well, yeah, nobody
Um,
pulls to the track and says, "You know what? I think I'm going to roll it 3 times down the front straightaway and go into the
yeah,
catch fence." You got
absolutely.
to
So
plan for
it's
the
it's the
unexpected.
safety feature, and that's it. And I see too many guys um, at smaller tracks that their belts are outdated,
Yeah, that ain't
and
no
and
good.
are you don't know what that it may not be weather, it may not be bad to you, but there's a date on them belts for a reason. There's a date on that Hans device for a reason.
Right.
And I get it. It sucks spending the extra money every 2 years that your belts are due to be updated. I update my belts every year. Every year I put a new set of belts on. I don't care if it's another year left on that belt.
It
No,
ain't
you're
worth
done.
taking the chance, man. Just ain't worth it.
And it's not for what, 130, $150 for a
Right.
set of belts.
Right.
Now Hans device has about $500,
Yeah,
but
but, yeah, you know. Um.
but a set of belts could save your life. You
Oh,
break a set of
absolutely.
belts, you don't go home to your family,
No,
and
no, and
that's what it's all about
that's
today.
worth 150 for sure.
Yeah.
um, what advice would you have for someone like me who is trying to get into racing? Doesn't come from a racing family. I'm the first one in my family to do it. I don't have the endless pockets that some people seem to have. So what is kind of your best advice for? I'm sure there's many, many, many people like me who want to go racing but just don't even know where to start with it.
Where do I start? Um, basically your best thing is gonna go to the track every week, meet up with a couple guys. Um, they're gonna tell you everything. Everything about comes with racing. You ask questions. I mean, the racing community has the biggest heart. They really do. Um, it, not everybody's gonna be able to start in a big aspect. Um, I didn't exactly expect to start in a pro stock
Right.
because that's where I started, and pro stocks anymore are 20,000,
Right.
25,000, and that's a mid-level platform.
Mhm.
That's not, king of the hill platform. That's just, sometimes it's entry level. Um, but at that point, you want to do it, find a cheap chassis.
Right.
You're gonna bang a chassis up.
Yep.
We all do it.
Yep.
When we start, you're gonna bend something. You're gonna break something. We all
Right.
do it. Um, if you find a cheap chassis, just try it once.
Absolutely.
I guarantee you'll never leave.
Yep. Oh,
It,
no,
that's a,
I know. Yeah, I've
it's
just
a
been in the
whole different
pits and I'm already
adrenaline.
bit by the bug, dude. I'm already
That's
counting
it.
down the days this next Saturday. Like, come on, man, let's go back up
That's
there.
it. That's it. Yeah, that's how I was at first. So I started in pits before I even jumped in a car. And I
Yeah.
tell you what, I was the slowest guy in the back.
Oh, I
I
do.
mean,
Yeah.
normal track times for us are on a good night 16 and a half,
Mhm.
maybe low 16, 16.4, 16 and a half. Um, when I first started my lap with time was like 21.
Oh, yeah.
I was horrible. Horrible. I was like, this should not happen. Like, there's no confidence there. Like,
Right.
this car's gonna wash up. Like, you can't turn right to go left. Like, that's physically
Right.
impossible. It doesn't make sense, right? I'm like, man, this car's gonna wad this wall. I'm gonna hurt. Like, I'm gonna know it.
Right.
Now I'm running with all the top tier guys. I mean, I'm running within there's probably about four of us that are actually, and besides myself, three of those guys are veterans.
Oh, wow.
The one guy's got, I believe he's raced 4 or 5 different divisions. He actually is tied for the win record up at our local track, which is AY Shelling, which is actually who I bought my first car from.
Oh, dude, super
Uh,
cool.
so he calls me the protege for him. So
Right, the protege, there you go.
yeah, he's like, you're my protege. He's like, you remind me so much of myself in the younger years. And I'm like, yeah. And now the last 2 years, he's like, I'm gonna retire.
Oh,
And
wow.
I looked at him. I said, AY. I said, what did I tell you at the wedding? He's like, he's like, what was that? I said, you can't retire until I beat you.
Right?
I was like, if you want to be the best, you beat the
Hey, you
best.
beat the
I said,
best.
so you're not allowed to retire until I get a couple underneath you. He's like, all right, that's a deal.
I'm sure he loves that, man. I'm sure he loves
He
that.
he
That's
does, man.
awesome.
I mean, that guy's one in a million.
Oh,
He
it's
really is.
fantastic, man. Um, well, you have anything you want to say? I'd give you the floor. Anything you want to shout out, any people you want to thank, anything like that. I mean, the floor is yours, and do with it what you will.
No, I mean, I just kind of want to little talk about here, touch base to you know, what we do for our team here with our program. So we decided to run a suicide awareness car, suicide prevention. So back in 2018, I ended up losing my little brother to suicide. 21 years old. Um, so it was rough. And you know, people out there think that there's nobody to talk to, that nobody will listen. I'm trying to be an advocate that I don't care if I don't know you. I don't care if I met you 5 minutes ago. I don't care if I've known you my whole life. If you got something to say it. I'm here. I'll listen. I'll talk to you. I'll skip work tomorrow just to hear it, to make sure you're good. So basically, what we revolved the entire car around is any part of our merchandise that we sell on clutchracingapparel.com. We started a merch line on there. We take a portion of that and we put it back into the suicide prevention programs. Last year, we also took it to the Clinton County Suicide Walk. So my mom is part of the board up there. I said, hey, let's do a pop up there. We'll take it there. Let the kids get in it. So one thing I'm really big on, Tuesday, I have a race car day at a daycare. Car
Super
will be
cool.
there. Yeah, so the car will be there on Tuesday. All the kids get in it. They have a blast. It's all about the fans, man. It's not a. I'm not a big guy. I don't need to be a big guy. My name doesn't need to be out there, to try to help my community or help somebody else's community. So part of our merch line goes back into those programs to help other people that do struggle with that. that allow the funds to keep the suicide prevention hotlines open, to donate to local uh, charities and everything else, so they can keep running for nonprofit organizations. So it's when I sat down and decided I was going to do this race team, um, I didn't expect to blow up the way I did. The guy that does all my merch line, he comes up to me, he goes, "Dude," he goes, "I've never had a client blow up in 3 months." He said, "You've exploded to a top tier client that I have."
Wow.
He goes, "I've
Congratulations to
I've
that, man.
never." Well, that's it was a surprise to me, and I appreciate it. Thank you. Um, he just he's very good at what he does. Um, but he started. It was originally Clutch Apparel. So then he's like, "Man," he goes, "I got to make a whole nother website." I was like, "What do you mean?" He goes, "Your store is kind of crashing my page." And I'm like,
It's
"What?"
a good problem to have, dude.
He's like, "You have so much stuff going on." I mean, there's 30 different um, options to pick from. I mean, we do beanies, we do hats, can koozies, decals, shirts, sweatshirts. I don't know if I said hats. Um, I mean, just anything you can really think of. I'm trying to get it out there.
Absolutely.
And basically, our motto is "You matter." I mean, we try to. Every day's a good day to wake up, but tomorrow's even better when that person that you just helped is still here with us, because somebody in this world needs that person.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I'll be sure to check that out, man. Clutch Racing Apparel. Um,
Yep.
that's awesome, man. That's a really cool thing that you're doing. I think that a lot of people can relate to that with knowing somebody or a family member or a close friend or anything like that who's lost them to suicide. So that's a really cool thing you're doing, man. And I'll make sure to check that out and try to pick something up and I'll support the program.
I appreciate it.
Well, where do people find you at, man? Where do we find you? Social media. You've mentioned your local track a couple times. Anything like that? Any closing remarks here?
So you can find us. We are on Facebook. We're under Night Motorsports LLC. We do have that is a private group, so you have to ask to join, which we're pretty open arms. We accept usually everybody. Um, always kind of try to keep it on the down low. Some of our smaller guys, we kind of like our a little bubbles a little smaller than these big name guys
Sure.
until we grow up to be that, till our program grows. Um, my wife occasionally does some stuff on TikTok, um, but it's basically a lot of our stuff are weekly videos, because she does usually do heat races videos for going live on our team page, um, and the feature is usually on there as well. Um, usually my mom and my wife are usually the managers of that. I just drive the car, I get told. So I don't
Right.
worry about the merchandise. I don't worry about anything else. I just get told, "Hey, look, you drive the car, get her done."
Yeah, just do and say what I'm told. That's my motto
That's
too when
that's
it
it.
comes to my wife.
That's it. So
Well, dude, thank you so much for your time. I really do appreciate it. I appreciate you sharing your story. I appreciate what you're doing, and I'll be sure to check out the social media, the Clutch Racing Apparel, and I hope everybody else does too. But yeah, man, no, I really do appreciate it. Thank you for taking the time to sit down with me today.
yeah, no problem. I appreciate it, buddy. Thanks for helping us get our story out there.
Oh, absolutely, man. Absolutely. It's what it's all about. All right. Well, I certainly appreciate Mr. Larry Knight sitting down with us for our first episode of Checkered Roots. If you guys do enjoy this, there is many more to come. The submissions and the requests and the outreach has been absolutely incredible for this. So I'm really looking forward to diving into this a little bit more. A little unclear on how frequently we will be uploading for now. But I really think that this series is gonna be really cool to hear from, the guys that you don't hear about, the weekend warriors and the local track heroes. And we have everybody from motocross to drag racing to motorcycle racing, karting, asphalt ovals, dirt ovals, endurance. I mean, the list goes on and on. I think the only thing we're missing at this point is someone who races boats. or jet skis. So if you know somebody or if you are somebody, please hit me up. But no, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Look forward to seeing you guys in the next episode.